So it's expected that the Bloodline story will last past WrestleMania 43, with many reliable wrestling leakers have confirmed that WWE have long-term plans for the Bloodline story. And I might have done this video very similar about 4 times now, but today in this video we're talking about my prediction of the Bloodline story all the way up until a year's time, SummerSlam 2027. So that shows you we're going to do a lot in this video, and there's a lot to cover, so we're going to enjoy this video. It's going to be lasting to record. Always remember to smash that subscribe button to the flipping channel, and let's get into this one. So we should both know that Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins has been confirmed for SummerSlam in the main event at night 2, I guess, for SummerSlam 2026. Of course, this will be the last time these two men go face to face. We thought this would be a WrestleMania match due to, you know, the rivalry of these two and the history and how these two are arguably two of the top companies' best names that they have currently. So doing this at SummerSlam is a big thing. It is a big attraction, but this could have been a WrestleMania main event 100%. But of course they've got to make their other shows look decent as well. So SummerSlam arguably might be the best destination for it. Reigns Rollins, of course we know Reigns has never beaten Seth Rollins in his career, which is one thing that's always held Roman Reigns back for his luxurious career of many world titles, Grand Slam champion, 4th longest reigning champion of all time, etc. But he's never ever been able to beat his Shield brother Seth freaking Rollins. So it all comes down to this SummerSlam. Rollins already said, we ain't got much time left, brother. We're well close to the end than we are to the start, and I'm very, very close to the end. So you've got your last shot now at SummerSlam to put me down and beat me, which is kind of a hint that Roman Reigns will defeat Seth Rollins. Let's be honest now. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns is World Heavyweight Championship. They won at WrestleMania, defeating the best in the world, CM Punk, in the main event at night 2 in a course of Las Vegas. So let's go to SummerSlam. It's Reigns, Rollins. They're both going at it. You know, Rollins is kind of getting the upper hand of Roman Reigns, playing the mind games, bringing him back to the trauma from the Shield, you know, the steel chair to the back, reminding him that he was never enough for the Shield, and how Rollins took away all the best moments in Reigns' career, and how he had to use his family to actually get a piece of success, which drives Reigns crazy, beating the living hell out of Seth Rollins. But Rollins is still getting over Roman Reigns. Multiple pedigrees, multiple stomps. Rollins is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but not so fast. Remember, Roman Reigns put the Bloodline again. Jay, Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu are all there for Roman Reigns. Jay doesn't get involved because he's on his own path, you know. Jacob Fatu does come in because the task was to kill Seth Rollins. So that's what he's going to try and do. So he takes down Seth Rollins, puts him down. As the ref doesn't see, surprisingly, Roman Reigns Superman punches spear. We think it's over. Rollins kicks out. So it looks like there could be a miracle here, how Seth Rollins defeats Roman Reigns for the final time in his career. But it doesn't come to that. Rollins does take Jacob Fatu out, so it's just down to 2 men. But Reigns already made it clear that he wants to defeat Rollins clean. So he's a little bit pissed that Jacob Fatu did get involved. He's annoyed. He's up in his mind games. And Rollins hits a stomp on Roman Reigns. And it comes to the closest 3 you'll ever see. And Roman Reigns kicks out to save his legacy and save his track record against Seth Rollins just for the time being. But eventually Roman Reigns gets so mad up in his thoughts, steel chair after steel chair after steel chair, whacking Seth Rollins, beating him, just beating him in the living hell out of him. And eventually Superman punch and 2 spears. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns finally defeats Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, retaining his title and proving to the family how he can conquer anything, really. Finally beating Seth Rollins in their final encounter in their careers, of course, in their respective careers. Roman Reigns has finally done it. And Roman Reigns is on top, and Roman Reigns is still your World Heavyweight Champion. So we move off to SummerSlam, and you might be confused after this image, but let me land. Just let me land. Jey Uso has had multiple opportunities at the undisputed WWE Championship at this point, of course against Cody Rhodes for a #1 contender shot that he did lose last week. And maybe after SummerSlam he might get his final shot. And Roman Reigns tells him, bud, you need to win this. And if you don't win this, well, there's consequences. Roman Reigns retained, of course, his title, as we've just said, and Jey needs to bring home the undisputed WWE Championship to the family to make the Bloodline as strong as it was back in 2022 and make it the biggest and best thing in the company once again. But Jey, well, he fails. He comes up short. to the eventual champion by then, CM Punk. And Reigns is pissed by this. He said, I can beat CM Punk, but you can't. So it shows you that we're not on the same level. And Roman Reigns is trying to develop Jey Uso into this main event star, into the next tribal chief, but he doesn't believe he can do it. So on a random Raw, Roman Reigns is like forgiving Jey Uso. He's like, I understand, you're part of my family. Low blow. Low blow. Jake Fatu attacks Jey Uso. And Jey Uso, is wiped out clean, bloodline. Roman Reigns viciously attacks Jey Uso, putting him down, hitting him with a steel chair over and over again, getting that anger back they had from the Rollins match, taking it out on his cousin Jey Uso, livid at him that he couldn't win the championship, says he's not good enough to be in his family, he can't do it, he's a failure. The reason why his world title opportunity and his world title, his reign was only 50 days long, he's not good enough. And Reigns makes that clear. And Jacob and Jimmy are a little bit intimidated. They're like, what is going on? And Jimmy wants to protect his brother, but he acknowledges the tribal chief and leaves Jey, his own brother, to lie there, down, possibly unconscious, but acknowledge his cousin, the World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns. So let's see what this leads us next. Roman Reigns has not got any many challengers right now, in this time right now. Of course, after taking out Jey Uso, the bloodline consists of Roman Reigns, Jake Fatu and Jimmy Uso. Still a very, very strong bloodline, but he holds a prize that Jake Fatu desperately wants. Of course, he had two opportunities at that earlier in the year at Backlash and Clash in Italy, but he failed both times, meaning he was actually forced to acknowledge his tribal chief. Otherwise, he would have never done it in his own choice. So it eventually gets to him that Jake Fatu knows he has potential and knows that he's a world champion material. So eventually Roman Reigns is doing this thing where he's manipulating his family. He's manipulating and saying, I'm different level to you lot. There's a reason why I'm champion and you're just my bitches in a way. You're just my lackeys. And Jake Fatu, he's a hothead. He's anger issue man. I don't know why I said that. But he ain't going to take that. And he ain't going to like it as well. So eventually Jake Fatu, he goes against Roman Reigns. Let's just say that. He goes against Reigns, which is going to be something mad, but it is going to happen. So it's going to be a very, very interesting one. He wipes out Roman Reigns, the World Heavyweight Champion, and he picks up the belt, looks at Jimmy and says, make the right choice, and raises the World Heavyweight Championship high over Roman Reigns, making it clear that he's coming for the title and Roman Reigns has his next rival. So we move on to around Survivor Series time now. Roman Reigns had his champion versus champion match against CM Punk, where Jacob Fatu did actually eventually cost him, by the way, just sorry to mention that, where CM Punk defeated Roman Reigns. Punk got got one over Roman Reigns, pinned the World Heavyweight Champion, pinned the Tribal Chief. Jimmy or Jacob not there. Jacob turned him, and Jimmy was going to help Reigns, but he chose not to. He never left the bloodline. He never betrayed Roman Reigns. He just didn't want to. So Reigns is off his nut. He's pissed. He's annoyed. He's looking for Jacob, but this sets up an eventual Survivor Series match. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship, the third time this year. And this match is going on. Jacob's destroying Roman Reigns, using that Tongan grip like he was earlier in the year after WrestleMania when they had their first feud. But this time it's different. Roman ain't got the same help. The Usos ain't going to come out. But Reigns is tired, He's starting to get exhausted from the schedule. As champion, it's a tough thing to be a World Heavyweight Champion, the top champion in the company. So this gets to Roman, and Jacob's beating him down. It looks like Jacob's going to be the man to take the title off of Reigns. While Jey, he's trying to get in Roman Reigns. He's trying to get his way back to Roman Reigns, but the bloodline wasn't allowing it. Jey's been trying to get in Roman Reigns' head for a while now. And while this match is going on, Roman Reigns finally starts picking a bit of momentum up, and he's going to put down Jake Fatu. But when it looks like it's going to happen, Jey Uso comes from nowhere, super kicking Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is all, he's drowsy, he doesn't know what's going on. And Jacob looks at Jey and they shake hands. And Jimmy pulls up, and they look at Jimmy, and they smile at Jimmy, because they feel like this was a plan. And Jimmy stands behind them while they both stand at Roman Reigns, ready to put him down. Super kick, super kick. Jimmy turns on his brother and his cousin to align himself with the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So he takes both men out, throws Jacob in there, spear. Roman Reigns retains the World Heavyweight Championship and beats Jacob Fatu for a third time in a year. Roman's still your champion by the skin of his teeth because of his cousin, Jimmy Uso. The Bloodline's dropped down to 2 men now, and it's starting to get serious times for Roman Reigns. So Reigns has taken a break and he's finally come back with the Bloodline. Well, his cousin, let's just say. I've been wondering where he is, ready to take him out and take that championship off him. We get to the Royal Rumble, where, of course, Jake Fatu, Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa all enter the Royal Rumble looking to win and challenge their cousin Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship to take him down in the main event of WrestleMania. But none of them succeed. It's actually Cody Rhodes who succeeds for a third time in his career, winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania to face CM Punk. So this leaves an open spot, and while all 3 men are plotting their way to get that match, they start having a little bit of disruptions with each other, saying, no, I deserve to be against Roman Reigns. No, I deserve to be against Roman Reigns. Solo says, I'm a former tribal chief, I deserve to be there. But none of them eventually get there. Just remember what happened, last month. Obafemi defeated Jey Uso to win King of the Ring, but he never used his King of the Ring opportunity for that world title match at SummerSlam. He decided to face Brock Lesnar instead and retire him in this time. So while Jey, Solo and Jacob are all ready to take on Roman Reigns, Obafemi's music here, he struts down to the ring, he looks at all 3 men and he says, your opportunity will come. And Jey, didn't I beat you already? So Obafemi confirms that this King of the Ring opportunity will be used at WrestleMania. He challenges Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania in the Night 1 main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's all going down now. And this could get hella interesting. Interesting, sorry. So we get to WrestleMania. The build is here. It's started. Roman Reigns' first match of the year, funny enough. His first title defense of the year. Shows you how crazy it is. Femi Reigns. It's on the dots that Femi's going to win. But does he win? Well, we don't know that. Femi is destroying Roman Reigns. Already 5 minutes in. It looks like it's over. Reigns' title run of just over a year is over. That's going to be it. All she wrote. It's not another 1,000 days. It's just like 365 days instead. But not so fast. So, of course, they're going at it. Jimmy Uso tries coming in, super kicks Obafemi. Not happening. Nah. Not happening. Jimmy didn't stand a chance, let's be honest now. So they're going at it, they're absolutely having it. And Obafemi looks set to beat Roman Reigns. But then all the ones that have been against Roman Reigns the last couple of months come out. They're there. Solo ain't there, funny enough. Jacob and Jey. Jacob, he looks a little bit on edge. Jey looks happy. He says finally he's going to lose this, or he's saying to himself, he's going to lose this, It's my chance against Oba now to win my title back that I had 2 years ago. It's my opportunity now. So Jey gets in there. Femi looks at him and he doesn't want him here. But Jey is ready to super kick Roman Reigns before he goes down from a fall from grace. Jacob Fatu stops him, grabs him, pulls his shirt or whatever, and says, no, we're not doing it like this. And Jacob gets in there, he looks at Roman Reigns, he looks at Jey, and Jey's like, come on, man, hit him, do it, Jacob, this is your time. He actually hits Jey. After all this time, Jacob does revert back. And he looks at Jey and he's shouting, you're like, you tried ruling me. You thought you were the tribal chief. You're hypnotized, You've got it all in your head. You think you're Roman Reigns. You're not a tribal chief. You're not the tribal chief. So now it's looking bad. Jacob and Oba are going at it, Roman Reigns breaks up. Superman punches Oba. And he smiles at Fatu. Smiles at him. Spear to Oba. And one more. The splash. And a spear. 1, 2, 3. Obafemi has been defeated at WrestleMania. A year on since supposedly retiring Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42, he loses his chance to win the World Heavyweight Championship, against Roman Reigns. Yep. He loses. And everyone thought it was on the dots for Femi to win. Roman Reigns had the bloodline once again. It's Jacob, Jimmy, and Roman. Solo wasn't there, and Jey's out on the floor. Obi He hobers down, and Roman Reigns stands tall as world heavyweight champion. But while this is all going on, Roman and Jimmy look at each other. They say, what's going on? Jacob's putting down Jay. Another splash to Jay. Jay's out. He's genuinely out. But the ref, he gives Roman his title and he's ready to give the Ulafala, and Jacob grabs the Ulafala and he looks at it, and Roman puts his arm out like he does on the microphone, like, give it to me, I'm the tribal chief. And Jacob looks like he's going to take it, and he puts it over Roman Reigns' head. For a second time, Jacob has acknowledged Roman Reigns the second time in a year, and Roman just laughs. He laughs because he knows the power is on his side. Jimmy just looks and he knows Jacob made the right decision. He stayed where he belongs. And this bloodline, this World Championship reign ain't going to end for long. And Jimmy and Jacob are going for the tag titles. They want some gold, of course. They want to make the bloodline strong. But they've been costed by Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, which, of course, sets up a match, at what will be, I'm hoping it's something in London, but I don't know. It sets up a match between Jimmy and Jacob versus Jey and Solo Sikoa, which you wouldn't think would happen, but it's mad. Yeah, it's a different story. But Jey and Solo do defeat Jimmy and Jacob, where Jey pins Jacob Fatu, and he claims his spot against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Or he says he's going to claim that spot. Jey enters King of the Ring for the third year in a row. Of course, last 2 years. The last year he came up short in the final. The year before that he came up short in the semi-finals. He's got to do it this year. It has to happen. And he does do that. Jey Uso wins King of the Ring 2027 and challenges Roman Reigns for a World Championship shot at SummerSlam. So here we are then. It all comes down to this. SummerSlam 2027. Reigns, Uso, main event of night 2. The storytelling, how good it's been, the bloodline story, all comes down to this. Can Jey do it, or will he fall short for Roman Reigns? And Roman Reigns says, listen, like I'll do with Jacob last year, or like I did with Jacob last year, sorry. I put everything on the line. If I lost, I wouldn't be tribal chief, and I wouldn't be World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm going to do the same thing. If I lose to you at SummerSlam, you'll be tribal chief, and you'd also be World Heavyweight Champion. So it's all yours to take, little cousin. It's all yours to try and succeed. If you think that you're real and you think you can be a tribal chief, but you're not a failure, well, prove it then. And Jey accepts. And he says, if I lose, I'll come back into your bloodline and I'll acknowledge you. And I'll acknowledge you proper, and I'll never be able to leave you this time. And they both agree, shake hands, agree that tribal combat, Jey Reigns number 2, like SummerSlam 2023, 4 years on, it's going to happen the final time. And Reigns says to Jacob and Jimmy, he says, listen, I don't want you involved. I don't want you involved. This has to be me and Jey. It can't be any shenanigans. I have to prove myself. And they agree, because, the family's having doubts that the family's getting weakened because of Roman Reigns being champion. So SummerSlam rolls around, both men are going at it, and it's getting intense. The bloodline drama, Jey's trauma, Roman Reigns manipulating him over the years. How many matches they've had? Clash of Champions 2020, Hell in a Cell 2020, SummerSlam 2023 shows all the history that these two men have gone through with each other over the years. Of course, Jey being involved in that 1,316-day reign for like the 75% of it, maybe even more than that actually. He was always involved in that, but he wasn't always in the bloodline. He was a big reason why Roman Reigns lost. So Roman Reigns, of course, has doubts and trauma as well from losing that title reign, losing to Cody Rhodes, of course, over 3 years ago now. But it's getting interesting. Of course, at SummerSlam 2023, Jey would have won if it wasn't for Jimmy Uso pulling him out, super kicking him, betraying his brother, and helping Roman Reigns to retain his undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So this time around, it's different. Both men are going at it, but Jey's proven himself. Roman has hit multiple spears and Jey's not giving up, and Roman's confused, like, what's going on? What is going on? I don't get this. Should we just cut to the end? We get to the end and Roman's still hitting spears, and it's getting close now. Jey, I need to say Jacob. Jey, super kick, weakening Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is falling to one knee now. He's getting in trouble. Another super kick puts Reigns down. Spear after spear after spear. Splash. Splash. And he looks at the crowd. And he looks at Reigns. He says, I love you, cousin, but I'm having to do what I've got to do. Another Uso splash. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Your new tribal chief. Your new World Heavyweight Champion. Main event. Tribal Chief Jey Uso. Roman Reigns looks at him after. They both get up. And, of course, Roman Reigns is heavily disappointed. He's not Tribal Chief anymore. But he looks at Jey and he shakes hands with him. And he says, listen, I did always believe in you, but I was jealous. I was jealous how you were so behind with the fans. I was jealous how you had all this immediate success and how I had to work for mine and get on the side of the fans. I was jealous of it. That's the reason why I always pushed you out of the way and pushed you to the other side while I focused on the others. But you deserve this. You really deserve this. He gives him the Ulafala. He gives him the title. And they hug. And the family comes to one unite, but they all go their separate ways. What a little happy ending. But no, seriously, that is how the Bloodline story ends. And if you think it's, mid, you have your opinions, of course, and that's what my opinion is. But thank you for watching this video. It has been awesome to record. Always remember to smash that subscribe button to the flipping channel, and I'll see you lot soon. Goodbye, guys.